Hello friends, good afternoon all of you, and let's start today. We are going to continue with the next part of what we people used to do. But I can see here very less attendance today. I don't know what is the reason. Is there any event or lecture? How many of you are going for that session of fuel, FUEL, or you don't know anything? Yes, Rajnandini.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are going. Okay. What about others? So very few attendance, very less students have joined. Okay, let it be. We'll continue with those who people have joined. So all of you just try to understand that maybe from next session, we people will start from. Uh, have you done with that analogy, verbal analogy question answers? Maybe next session people will go for verbal analogy sessions. Okay. So in today's session, we'll just continue with let's say adverb, that is remaining part. And if you think that if that uh, tense and voice, if it is required, then we will go for that. Otherwise we will go for that verbal ability sessions. So question answers will be there. Okay, so let's continue. I will share the screen. Okay, so let's first of all we'll try to understand what an adverb is. Okay, someone just reply my voice is audible and the screen is visible. Is it audible, visible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So just pay attention that adverb. So in that adverb, we'll come to know there is verb. Okay. So what verb is? Verb is something that shows an action. Okay. Verb shows an action. But here you'll come to know an adverb. It shows that how a particular action is done. How action is done. That will be told by an adverb. So in short, it describes, it tells us more about how a particular action is done. So as adjective, adjective describes a noun. Similarly, adverb describes verb. But it is not that only verb. An adverb can describe, or we'll call it modify, and adjective. It can be adjective. It can be verb. It can be another adverb. So that is adverb. So therefore we'll come to know that from different ways how a particular action is done. So that is meaning of adjective. And with that we people will go to the next slide and we'll talk about some of the types which are mentioned here. Okay, so the types are like this. First of all, adverb of time. So those words which refer to time, or those words which tell when a particular action is performed, those words are called adverbs of time. You people can try to see these examples: now, then, before, since, ago, already, soon, presently, immediately, early, late, afterwards, yesterday, today, tomorrow, lately, formerly, and all. There are other examples also which are related with time. They are all called adverbs of time. Or if you ask a WH question with the word when, the answer you people will get, that will be adverb of time. Okay, so you can see here examples which are mentioned, and those examples are like this. She came yesterday. Okay, so here the word yesterday, what does it tell? It tells about the action. When that action has done, it is yesterday. When did she come? It is yesterday. Okay, so therefore this is adverb of time. It is raining now. Here you'll come to know now is the time which talks about that uh, when that action is done. Raining is happening when it is now. So that is again adverb of time. Presently, I am learning in Sweri. So here also you'll come to know presently shows the time. So it means currently. Tomorrow I will complete my studies. Here tomorrow reflects time. So therefore tomorrow is adverb of time. So that is quite simple. Then with this, we people will go here with adverbs of place. Okay. So adverbs of place, they talk about where a particular action takes place. So place of action, that will be described by adverbs of place. So examples like this: here, there, in, out, above, below, inside, under, outside, near, everywhere, up, down, backward. These are all called adverbs of place because they talk about where the action takes place. Also remember that the words like in, out, above, below, inside, they can be used as preposition also, and they can be used as adverbs of place as well. For example, if I give you he went up. In this example, you'll come to know up is here adverb of place and not a preposition. Okay. Or if it is like this, it is you can say he went inside. In this case also we'll come to know inside is not a preposition, but it is adverb of place. Okay. Then next we will try to understand with WH word where. If you ask the question with where, the answer you people will get, that will be adverb of place. She came here. So in this example, here is a word which talks about that where did she come. That is here. It is raining outside. Here the word outside talks about the place. So therefore it is adverb of place. Presently I am near Sweri. In previous slide we people have talked about presently, it is adverb of time. But in this example, we are going to point out near, which is adverb of place. Okay. I can complete my studies everywhere. Here you'll come to know that everywhere is adverb of place. So this way you can see other examples also. The next slide you people can see here, that is adverbs of frequency. Frequency talks about how many times a particular action takes place. So based on that, the people can see its frequency like this here examples: once, twice, thrice, again, seldom means rarely, never, sometimes, always, often, frequently, annually, hourly, and other examples so people can add here. If you ask question with how often a particular thing action takes place, you will get answer. For example, she comes here once in a week. So here once is a word which talks about frequency. It rains sometimes in Pandharpur in winter. The word sometimes, it tells us that how many times, though we do not get exactly, but we can get a rough idea about the frequency. I always visit the Vittal temple. Here you'll come to know always is a word that talks about how many times a particular action is done, that is visiting the temple. He came again. In this example, again is a word which talks about the frequency. Okay, so this is called adverbs of frequency. Then here we people have adverbs of manner. So manner talks about how a particular action is completed, or you can ask in what manner. And here I would like to tell you people that many of the examples you people can convert into adverbs of manner by simply adding the suffix ly to adjective. For example, you can take one example that can be happy. So if the happy is an adjective, you can simply add ly and it becomes happy. Similar, sad. Sad is adjective. If you add ly, then it becomes sadly, which is adverb of manner. Few examples given here are like this: beautifully, sadly, happily, badly, slowly, accidentally, angrily, anxiously, awkwardly, blindly, boldly, bravely, brightly, calmly, carefully, carelessly, cautiously, cheerfully, and you can, I already told you, you need to add ly suffix to the adjectives and you can convert them into adverbs of manner. Okay, so see examples here. She walks slowly. So here will come to know slowly, it talks about the way of walking. So how does she walk? Slowly. Or in what manner does she walk? Slowly. So slowly is an adverb of manner. Then here is bravely. He fought bravely. How did he fight? Bravely. Or in what manner did he fight? Bravely. So bravely is an adverb of manner. It ended badly. So badly is also adverb of manner. Okay. And then next part we people have, that is adverbs of degree. So adverbs of degree talk about in what extent or how much, that can be proportion also, that you people are going to find it out. So here words like very, much, too, quite, almost, little, rather, half, partly, only, these are the words which talk about the degree. And in WH word you can think about how much the question, if you're asking, you'll get answer like this. She was too tired. So too means how much. You can ask how much was she tired? Too much, something like this. Then here it was half completed. So half is adverb of degree. It is almost finished. Almost is adverb of degree. This is quite difficult. This is also adverb of degree. Okay. So these were the few points which are related with adverbs. I hope that you might have already studied them and you could have revised it in short. So let's go and see some of the uses of adverbs that you people are going to use correctly. So errors in the use of adverbs, you people are going to see some sentences. Okay. And after seeing those sentences, you people have to correct those errors. If you are able to find it out, you just try to tell me, otherwise I will explain it. Okay. So first of all, the sentence is in front of you. It says she ran away fastly. So do you think that sentence is correct, or is there any error in adverb? If it is error, you just try to correct it. She ran away fastly. So which is adverb in this sentence? Are you able to tell me? Are you able to find it out? Adverb?
Fastly.
Yes, fastly is an adverb. Yes, you are right, Virgil. So do you think, all of you just try to tell me, is it right, or how we can make it correct? What should be there? Or is it all right? Up to she ran away, that is okay. In case of fastly. Do you think that is right? If it is, if you're thinking that this is right, then that is a common mistake. Okay, so here what is wrong with this adverb? That I have already told you that you can make adverbs by adding ly suffix, but this example is an exception to this. You cannot make adverb by adding ly suffix to this adjective. For example, this fast itself is an adverb, so you can use fast as an adjective, or you can use it as adverb also. So you need not to add ly, and fastly is incorrect way of using adverb here. So it should be she ran away fast. So this is going to be correct. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. Fine, so you can see here the correct sentence will be she ran away fast and not fastly. Then next sentence is in front of you. It says, please kindly help me in my work. So what should be here? So you have to think about this. Help me in my work, that is okay. This sentence is okay. What do you think about please and kindly? Is it necessary to use both words? Please help me in my work, kindly help me in my work, or please kindly help me in my work?
Please help me in my work.
Yes. Please help me in my work, that will be okay. Or you can also say kindly help me in my work. Is it necessary to use both words? Both words are not required. Okay, so correct way can be, you can use either kindly help me in my work or please help me in my work. Both, using both words is not okay. Next sentence is quite simple. I hope that this time everybody will be able to understand and find it out what is wrong with this sentence. He is working very hardly. So
ly should be not there.
yes, in case of hardly, to think about it, he's working very hard. So that will be the meaningful. Otherwise, what will be the meaning of this sentence? He is working very hardly. It means he does not work at all. Okay, he is not working at all. Hardly means rarely or not at all. So therefore, the sentence means he is working very hardly. So here you will just try to understand the meaning changes. Hard is having different meaning, and when you are making it hardly, that time it is totally different. Okay, so it is not like that sad sadly or happy happily. In case of happy happily, both means same. Okay, in case happy, that is adjective, and if you're using it happily, in that case similar meaning, but it is adverb. But in case of hard, that is here adverb, and its meaning is totally different, that he is taking effort. And if it is you're making adverb by adding ly, that is totally different, and meaning will be exactly opposite, that he is not working at all. So that people need to understand. Okay, all right. So the correct sentence will be he is working very hard. Then next is the old man lived miserly. So problem is here with misery. So miserly, you can pronounce it miserly. So here also you people need to understand. I have told you, if you add a ly to any adjective, then it becomes adverb. But case is exactly opposite here. Here the word miserly is having ly suffix, but it is not adverb. So the word miserly is an adjective. Okay. So this word miserly is an adjective, but in fact here in this sentence, we people need to use it as an adverb. Okay, so therefore you people need to correct it in this way, that miserly way or in a miserly manner. Okay, you can see the correct sentence here, and it is like this: the old man lived in a miserly manner or miserly manner. So here miserly is an adjective, so therefore you people need to use a noun like manner. Next sentence, my father returned lately. How you are going to correct it? What is wrong with this?
ly,
Yes,
lately.
yes, lately. So it should be what? It should be late. Okay. So meaning of lately, it means recently. Okay. Here it is not expecting recently, but here we are expecting late. So therefore, my father returned late. That should be correct way. So you can see the correct sentence is my father returned late. Next is she is too beautiful. So in this example, you'll come to know too is used, and it is in negative sense, or negative meaning is associated with TOO2. It should be very. Okay, she is very beautiful, like this. So using to will be causing too beautiful to what, something like this. So to is used in negative meaning. Next is he is enough wise to understand the situation. You can read it, think over it, and tell me. He is enough wise to understand the situation. The problem is here. Okay, if you are not able to find it out, it should be wise enough. He is wise enough. So you are using adjective first and then adverb. So sentence is, he is wise enough to understand the situation. So these were the few examples that you people need to understand our common use of these things. Now we people will go for the next slide, and there you people are having some exercise. So you people have exercise like this. Choose the sentence in which the word still is used as an adverb. So question is like this: choose the sentence in which. Here which is here. So read which here. Okay. Choose the sentence in which the word still is used as an adverb. And here you people are having 4 sentences. The 4 sentences are like this. With his name, the mothers still their babies. So here is still. Still water runs deep. Then her sobs could be heard in the still of night, and he is still in business. So Ketan Wagmare, roll number 62. Is it audible, Ketan? Mute yourself and don't send your attendance right now. You just join. Lecture has started half an hour ago, and you are just joining and now sending your attendance into chat box. So don't send. I don't need your attendance. All right. So you people just try to tell me answer. 4 sentences. Out of 4 sentences, the word still is used, and which still is an adverb. Are you able to find it out? You can try. Your guess will work, but you should not be keep quiet. At the end, I will explain, but you should respond. Okay, so try to understand first sentence, that is still their babies. So what do you think? With his name, the mother still. So in this example, the still is used as verb. So it is not an adverb. So first option cannot be. Then in second example, still water runs deep. So here still is describing water. So still is used here as an adjective. Okay, so this cannot be answer. So option second you cannot choose. The next number 3, her sobs could be heard in the still of night. So in this example, still is used as noun. Okay, so you cannot go for option 3 as well. So what left? Option 4. This is going to be answer. He is still in business. So here still is used as an adverb. And so option 4 is correct answer. I hope that you might have got it or you can understand it. Is it clear? If it is clear, we'll go to the next slide. And you have next question. So questions are point out incorrect adverb. So read the 4 options given here: speedily, slowly, fastly, and gradually, and think about which adverb is incorrect adverb. And tell me now. I will wait for your answers this time.
Fastly.
Fastly. So are all agree with this answer, fastly? Or is there anyone who is having different answer here? Yes, that's right. We people have just discussed. So problem is with fastly. Fast itself is an adverb. So additionally, you are not going to add any ly to it. So this is incorrect adverb here in this question. So answer is going to be fastly. All right. Okay. Now, you people read the next question, and this next question is, which of the following is not an adverb? And here you people are having options: frequently, always, happy, fast. And try to tell me which sentence, which word is not an adverb. This is also quite simple. Think and tell me. All of you just respond. Okay. Harshada. Harshada came with her answer. Others just try to tell me if you can find it out. Okay, fine. So, yes,
Frequently.
frequently. Do you mean frequently, Uday?
No, sir.
Which one? Okay, yes, Rajnandini. We'll just try to come to the answer. Both of you are right. That here, if you think in case of frequently, that is adverb. Yes, that is adverb. Always, that is also adverb of frequency. That is okay. Fast, we people have discussed about fast. So fast itself is an adverb. Okay, so what is left? Happy. So happy is what? Happy is an adjective. Okay, and happily can become adverb. If you want to use adverb, it can be happily. So option C, happy is not an adverb. All right, so answer is happy. You have to complete this sentence. It is time, and after that you have to choose when you went, where you went, which you went, or that you went. What will you choose? Yes, Vaibhavi came with her answer. Other people, if you are going to think about which sentence is going to fit after this, it is time, you can just tell. So it is referring to time. So with time, if you think which WH word will be suitable, it will be when. And so therefore option A is the correct one. You're right, Vaibhavi. Okay, so option A will be an answer. All right, now read carefully. Adverb form of beauty is what? Beautify, beautician, beautiful, or beautifully? Answer immediately. Quite simple question. Are you able to find out? Yes, Rajnandini came with her answer. Vaibhavi came with her answer. So beauty is noun. So you have to find out what will be adverb. So of course it is going to be option B. Beautifully, because beauty noun, beautify verb, beautiful adjective, and beautifully is adverb. So option D is an answer. Okay, so that was a short exercise based on adverb. So now people just tell me what you would like to have, whether we should go for tense or whether we should go for verbal ability. Based on your choice, we'll go for one of it. Or whether you are going to develop oral activities. In that, you have to speak it. You people are going to do some, choose some English topics and you are going to speak on it. So tell me what will be your choice. Tense, verbal ability, or oral communication. But if you're going to choose oral communication, it will be you people have to speak it. There I will not speak. and you people will speak. Okay, now we people need to take majority into consideration. I'm getting two different options, verbal ability and tense. So other people also need to reply. Everybody reply so that I can decide whether verbal ability or tense.
Screen is not visible, sir.
Yes, now that presentation is over, no? So therefore screen is not visible. I'm going to share another screen. Okay. Okay, we'll go with verbal ability. Rajnandini, at some other time, we will revise tense. In short, I will revise it in any of the lectures. We'll go with verbal ability. So I'll stop sharing this screen and I will share another screen. So all of you just stay connected. I will get with another screen, another presentation. Within 1 minute, I will be back. All right. So we'll continue with verbal ability. I hope that you people might have got that book. Do you have the book that R.S. Agarwal, verbal ability? If not, you just try to get it. Okay. So I hope that many of you people might be preparing for competitive exams. So all of you just try to think that what plan you people have in the future, whether you are going for private job, government job, or you are going to start your own business. Based on that, you need to just plan your activities. So I hope that those who are preparing for competitive exams, for them, such things are going to be very useful. Okay, so in today's session, we will not have exercise. We just try to read the points which are given here. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, we'll try to understand what an analogy means. Okay, so what is an analogy? Analogy is nothing but you people usually in many of the competitive exams, you might have just seen the questions are there. And the questions are based on these kind of relationships. Analogy means relationship. So this relationship is usually given in the form of pair. Okay, so one pair is given. In that pair, there are two words, and these two words having some relationship with each other. Okay, and similar relationship you people have to find out in next pair. In next pair, one word is given and one word is having question mark there, and you people are getting four options. Out of those four options, you people need to choose which is the correct one. That is called analogy. Okay, so this is a common pattern of question in all types of competitive exams. If you're going for MPSC, UPSC, if you're going for bank, SSC, railway, and any other government department, private, and in even placement activities also, these kind of questions are asked. So analogy. Srinath Patil, it is okay. At the end, I'm going to take attendance. So right now, no need to send your roll number. Okay, so analogy means correspondence. That means relationship. In questions based on analogy, a particular relationship is given and another similar relationship has to be identified from the alternatives provided. Analogy tests are therefore meant to test a candidate's overall knowledge, power of reasoning, and ability to think concisely and accurately. So that is the reason that in every kind of competitive exams, you'll find questions based on verbal ability. So kinds of relationships, here we people will just talk about few kinds of relationships that you people might have studied it earlier, maybe in your 10th standard, maybe in your diploma, or maybe in your at various stages of your earlier. So first of all, the relationship is between instrument and measurement. So what do you mean by relationship between instrument and measurement? You can see from this example. Okay, so barometer. So what is barometer? Barometer is an instrument. So what is used this instrument for? This is used to measure what? This is used to measure pressure. All you people know it, and that is common. So there is a lot of such kind of instruments which are used for particular reasons. So these kind of things we people are going to talk here. So you can see barometer as instrument which is used to measure pressure. Okay. So similarly, thermometer is there. This is also common. All we people know that when you go to a doctor, doctor checks your temperature, or in this pandemic situation, everywhere there are thermometers used to check the temperature. So thermometer is there to check, to measure temperature. Then here is anemometer. So anemometer is an instrument which is used to what? It is used to check or measure the wind pressure, or we call wind speed, we can call it, or wind direction also. So for that purpose, anemometer is used. Being civil student, I hope that you might have some of the ideas about those instruments. And if you have any questions or difficulty, you people can ask me, sir, what is this? We don't know. In that case, we'll have more explanation there. Then next is odometer. So odometer is usually, you people can call it speedometer also, that is used to measure speed. In two-wheeler and four-wheeler, all you people have seen this. So this is used to measure speed. Then scale, this is also common from your fifth standard. From your first standard, we people use scale to measure length. So ruler, you can call it, that we people use for measuring length. Then balance. Balance is used to measure mass. Balance means in Marathi you can call it tarazu. In older times we people used to measure it mass. Okay. Then here is spimomanometer. What is this? How to pronounce it? That is spimomanometer. Okay, G is silent here. So what is this spimomanometer? If you have been to a doctor, and doctor, when they're checking you, they check your blood pressure. So the instrument that the doctor used, that is called spimomanometer, to check your blood pressure. So try to remember. I know that this is complicated and somewhat a lengthy spelling, but with practice you can just try to remember it. At least spimomanometer and blood pressure, this relationship you are going to remember it. Then rain gauge measures rain. This is quite simple. All we people know it and we all understand it. Then here is hygrometer. So what is this hygrometer? Hygrometer is an instrument which is used to measure what? Humidity. Humidity in the atmosphere. So if you have been, let's say that different kinds of atmosphere during, let's say, rainy season, you people can check that humidity. So to checking humidity, you people can get hygrometer. I think that these are some concepts in physics you people might have studied in your 10th or maybe in your diploma of physics. Ammeter is used to measure current. Okay. Then here you have screw gauge. I think that you might have done some practicals also in physics with screw gauge, which is used to measure thickness of objects. Then you people have here seismograph. Seismograph is an instrument which is used to measure earthquakes. And now who will tell me what is the unit to measure earthquakes? In which unit do we measure earthquake? Any idea? Try to tell me. Richter scale. Yes, that's right. Okay, that is Richter scale is an unit. Seismograph is an instrument. It measures earthquake. Then here you have piezometer. So piezometer is an instrument which measures strengths. So I hope that you might have idea about strengths. In civil also there might be you are having some strengths. So do you know about strengths? If not, try to check it more because I do not have much idea about this strengths. Okay, that was the instrument and measurement we people have done so far. Okay, now you people think about quantity and unit. Okay, so here another kind of relationship, number 2. So let's try to see what kind of quantity and unit we people are going to think about. So we people have seen that scale is used to measure length, and length is measured in what? Length is measured in meter. So it can be depending upon CGS or MKS, that doesn't matter, but meter or centimeter is there. So here we'll consider meter is here. So meter is an unit to measure this quantity length. Okay, let's check time, how much time. Okay, 10 more minutes will continue. So meter is the unit of length. Similarly, we'll come to know mass. Mass is measured in what? We measure it in kilogram, kg. Okay. Then force, again the physics concepts. If you remember that what you people have studied in some of the 10th standard, 12th standard, you did not have 12th, you all of you are from diploma, so in diploma also you might have learned about this. Force, Newton. Then energy, that's unit is joule. Then resistance, its unit is ohm. Volume, unit liter. Power, unit watt. Okay. Then next you have potential. Potential is its unit is volt. Work, again joule. Try to understand here. We people were having for energy also we have joule, and for work also we people are having joule. Okay. The next, time we people measure in seconds. Then current we people use in ampere. So remember, current, ampere and ammeter, these are three things. So ammeter is an instrument, current is quantity, ampere is unit. Luminosity, luminosity is its unit is candela. Pressure, its unit is Pascal. Usually the names of scientists have been given, so those who discovered that names have been given to these things. Okay. Then area, its unit is hectare. Usually we people have seen in acres also, and hectare also. Then here is temperature. Temperature we measure in degrees, or you people may get another unit, that is Fahrenheit also. Conductivity, conductivity its unit is MHO. Magnetic field, magnetic field is its unit is Oersted. Next we people will talk about this and then we'll close here. So individual and group. So what do you mean by here individual and group? You people might have studied collective noun in grammar. In the beginning, I think that we people have collective noun. So what is collective noun? So here there is collection of something. There is a group of something which is considered as one. For example, class of students. When we call it class of students, so we consider class as one, but there are a number of students. So that is individual and group kind of relationship we people are going to study here. So first of all, you can say sailors. Sailors, crew. So number of sailors together, that becomes one crew. Okay. A group of sailors is called a crew. Similarly, you'll come to know cattle, herd. So herd is a group of cattle. Okay. So just for 1 minute. Okay, so just pay attention. Cattle, herd, it indicates that a group of cattle becomes one herd. So herd is collective noun here. Then flowers, bouquet. All you people know it, that number of flowers when they are together, that makes a bouquet. Then grapes, bunch. Bunch of grapes we call it. Singer, chorus. So number of singers, when they sing together, it is called chorus. Artist, troupe. A group of artists is called troupe. Fish, shoal. So a group of fish is shoal. Then next is sheep, flock. Number of sheep together, it becomes one flock. Then riders, cavalcade. So group of riders is called cavalcade. So maybe this, if this word is new to you, just try to check it into dictionary. Okay. Then bees, swam. Okay. So bees swam, honeybees. Usually the bees, they are called a swarm of bees. Then next we have man, and group of man, it becomes crowd. So when it is crowd means there are number of people, that becomes crowd. Soldiers, army. So number of soldiers makes an army. Okay, in an army there are number of soldiers. Then here we people have nomads. Nomads are horde. Horde means a group of nomads. Nomads are the people who are just wandering from one place to another place. Okay, so that much for today. In next session, we are going to complete remaining part and exercise based on this kind of relationships you people are going to face. And if you have any book, I have already told you that you people need to go for that R.S. Agarwal book. If it is with you, just go through that book so that it will be easier for you to just go through such kind of verbal relationship exercise. Okay, so we'll take attendance. I can see present numbers here. I will just note it down and then I will just tell you. Roll number 2, 3, then 4, 5, 7, then 8, 9, 12, then 13, 14, 15, 19, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 37, 46, 51, 52, 54, 55, 57, 59, 62, 64, 60, 23, and there is one more, Sujit Patil, B56. If anybody knows Sujit Patil, call that Sujit Patil and tell him that he is just connected, but he is not connected with audio. So if he wanted to be continue, he should just connect with audio. Okay. So with this, we people are going to stop here. In next session, we people will continue with the remaining part, and a lot of exercise will be there. In short, we'll finish that part of such kind of relationship, and we'll have a lot of exercise that all you people need to understand. Okay, is it okay? So should we stop here? Should we close it? Should I end this meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining today, and do join for next session also.